Hi everyone. In the last video, we covered tables pretty extensively, and in this video, I want to touch on a few things that will help you deal with tables a little bit easier. So you can see I've got our table from the last video here with a style applied, and you can see I've got it duplicated below. I'll get to that in a moment. The first thing I want to talk about is adding columns and rows. Microsoft introduced a feature recently to make it easier to add columns and rows while you're in the table without having to use the toolbar or the ribbon. So what they've done is they've given us pop-ups. If I have the table selected here and I want to add a new column, I just go to the top and get near a border or a margin, and I have a pop-up. And if I select that, it will add a row. I'm going to undo, and the same thing works for the rows. I come down by the row, and I can put a row wherever I want it, just clicking a button, and it adds it for me and applies the same style. Very easy, no problem. If you're like me, you might have this come up when you don't want it. I'm often dragging these margins when I want to manipulate the table, and the pop-up bar, I accidentally click on it, and it gets annoying because I have to go and undo something and then start over. So the way to get around this is to turn that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the options, and if we go to the advanced button on the options screen and scroll down about midway, under display, while on the advanced tab, you see at the bottom here, show pop-up buttons for adding rows and columns and tables. If we deselect this option, now when I want to add a row, that pop-up doesn't come up. I have to go to my table layout and insert the column or row where I want it. But the good thing about this is I get to choose right, left, below, above. And I prefer that rather than having the system do it for me automatically. The other thing I want to talk about is font sizes. Um, I recently encountered an issue where I was working on tables and there was a system change that affected the font in every table I had in the document, which there were many. So I learned something. I'm going to pass it on to you now. If you're working in a table and it has a style applied, you probably won't notice this. But if you're working in a table that does not have style applied, what you're looking at is actually the word default table style. So let me show you how this works. If we go to the table design in the contextual menu and then select this drop down under the table styles, which we would normally use for selecting a style, instead I'm going to select modify table style. And what happened to me was somebody had changed this table style. The font went larger for reasons I didn't know. Um, it's convenient if it's what you want to do, but when it was unexpected, it presented me a problem. So in this one, I've now changed all the fonts to a minimum size of 14. The style applied a larger one for the bold font on the first column, and the other tables were unaffected. So that works kind of as expected. I'm going to undo, and now I'm going to do the same thing with this table down here, or with these tables, I should say. So I've got this table selected, and I'm going to go right back to the table design tab, and I'm going to hit the same button, and you can see I'm in a plain table. You might not be able to see it, but that's the table that is highlighted, the style. So I'm not going to modify this style. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change this style font to 14. Now when I do this, it affects both tables, which you may not expect, but it doesn't affect this table because it's a different style. So if you're having a problem with tables giving you new style or new font sizes that you weren't expecting, and it seems to be applying erratically, this is where you want to start. You want to go to your table, select this drop down, and then look at your table style and see what's happening with this formatting. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.